Hi, everybody. Welcome into Sports Talk Chicago. Great to be back. Great to see all of you here on a beautiful evening in Chicagoland. So much to discuss, so much to get to. We got Bears, we got Cubs, White Sox. So many things are going on. The NFL draft is coming up. The Cubs have started off really hot, and the White Sox have not done anything. We're going to discuss all of it here tonight. My name is Jon Zaghloul. John Meadows is directing and producing. We are live on all of our great radio and TV affiliates throughout Illinois and Indiana. WROK 101.1, Peoria Sports Radio, 98.3 The Live, WKAN 105.5 The Ticket, ACTV, JED-TV, WJOB, and Cities 92.9 Talk FM. If you want to be a part of the conversation, many ways for you to do so. You can follow us on social media at Sports Talk Chicago. You can also subscribe on YouTube. We are getting up and close to 19,000 subscribers, about 100 away as of today, and we're close to 20,000 as well. Every subscription counts, and it matters. You can subscribe there. Just search up Sports Talk Chicago. We're the first thing that comes up. Hit the like button on all of our videos to make sure you stay informed and support what we're doing. We appreciate all of your help, and man, it's so good to be back. Appreciate everybody bearing with me. Was gone for a week, and refreshed, feeling good, and good to be here with all of you, all of our loyal listeners and loyal viewers all over the Midwest region. So, our buddy Joey Christopoulos, who was filling in for me last week, also part of the SDC Network, made some big news. Don't think he expected what ended up occurring after what he said on last week's show. Joey, of course, is very well connected in Big Ten circles, and he was spreading a rumor, if you will, about the whereabouts of Marvin Harrison Jr., what he wants to do, and it turns out that Marvin Harrison wants to play for the Bears, according to Joey. He wants to come to Chicago. Now, will it happen? I don't know. He'd have to drop to 9, or the Bears could trade up on draft day and make a surprise blockbuster move. I find that hard to believe, and I don't know if the Bears would trade up for a wide receiver, but nevertheless, it is possible. So Marvin Harrison Jr. wants to come here. The alternative that has been floated around as well at number 9 for the Bears is Rome Odunze, the wide receiver from Washington, who famously teamed up with Michael Penix Jr. Over the past couple of seasons. They worked big things out there in Washington. So we're going to discuss both those wide receivers, and we're going to discuss the hype surrounding both of them. But I want to make this clear, at least to start. What a position the Bears are in today. And I want people to understand this too. These two wide receivers that we're discussing here, they're both studs. I think they're both going to be solid NFL football players. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is pretty much a sure thing. And if he stays healthy and does what he's supposed to do, he's going to be just like his dad eventually. He's going to be a Hall of Famer, right? He is a great wide receiver, stunning, great talent in college. And I think he's going to turn that over to the pros and do great year one. Remember, though, that even if the Bears grab Odunze at number 9, maybe they don't even draft a wide receiver and wait till later, they already have 2 great receivers. Can you imagine Marvin Harrison Jr. being the number 3 on this team? Or even Rome Odunze being the number 3 here for Caleb Williams, presumptively. That's unbelievable when you think about it. And it's just bringing back some memories and some nostalgia. Even when I was growing up, and I'm sure for many of you, the older audience, you know this too, they used to say Cleveland was the place for quarterbacks to die. Well, they used to say wide receivers died when they came to the Bears. That was the adage. When quarterbacks went to die, they went to Cleveland. When wide receivers wanted to die, they went to Chicago. I mean, for years, Marty Booker was one of the best wide receivers in Bears history. And now as we sit here today, Ryan Poles, to his credit, has completely revamped this wide receiver room. Just a few years ago, we were talking about Joshua Bellamy still being on this team. Couldn't even catch a football. We're still talking about Velus Jones Jr. being on this team. He's going to be gone eventually, but you get my point. Even up until the past year or so, this was the place where wide receivers came to die. The Bears tried to break up that mantra a little bit with the Brandon Marshall and Martellus Bennett acquisitions in the early 2010s under Mark Trestman. That worked for a little bit. At the end of the day, though, it couldn't help the Bears to fully shake that identity. And now as we sit here today, you've got, for sure, no matter what, DJ Moore and Keenan Allen at your disposal. And if you draft Rome Odunze or if you somehow get Marvin Harrison Jr., that's going to be your number 3. Eventually, they'll be number 2 and eventually number 1. They are number 1s on virtually any other team in the NFL, with the exception of a few. But here in Chicago, they're going to be number 3s. Think about that for a second. Look at how far this team has come. And that's something positive that we have to acknowledge and respect. I want all of us to remember that even during the season now coming up. Don't want us to get too spoiled in regards to wide receiver talent, because just as early as 2 years ago, it frankly didn't exist. There was nothing. Justin Fields didn't get anything till last year, really, in terms of legitimate, hardcore, A-plus wide receiver talent. Until then, they had nothing. And now Caleb Williams is going to come in and inherit an outstanding situation. If the Bears draft a receiver at 9, they're going to have 3 number 1 wide receivers on one team at one time. Talk about a revitalization and just a game-changing situation on offense. That's huge. And the likelihood of that happening is super high. Mel Kiper and Field Yates of ESPN did a mock draft recently. They, of course, thought the Bears would take Caleb Williams at number 1. And at number 9, they picked Rome Odunze, both of them. Mel Kiper wrote, quote, "I love this fit with Caleb Williams, though I thought about an offensive lineman or an edge rusher too. Odunze could be a star. This is how Chicago could set up Williams to succeed as a rookie." Now, note what Kiper said here, an offensive lineman or an edge rusher. Here's the key. All 3 of those positions are needs, and we all know what the Bears are going to do at number 1. Number 9 is the intriguing pick. Could they trade up for Marvin Harrison? Could they wait till 9, grab Odunze, or are they going to look at an offensive lineman or edge rusher? Here's my opinion. Here's my take. You could get it from me right now on the record. I don't care what they do at 9. All 3 of those positions are winning situations to me. You take Odunze, you're fine. You take an offensive lineman that you need, you're good. You take an edge rusher to pair up with Montez Sweat, even better. All 3 of those situations would work for me. I don't even have a preference. All 3 of those positions are specific needs that this team has. And when you have a pick at number 9 and you already got your quarterback, that's what you have to do in that spot. No doubt about it. That's what you should be targeting. You target those 3 positions, and you make a pick that has to go with those. Mel Kiper and Field Yates think the same. Here's what they said about Caleb Williams, by the way. Kiper said, quote, "I don't think we need to spend much time debating the direction the Bears will go in here. Obviously, Justin Fields is gone, and Caleb Williams is the clear best quarterback in this class. With Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, and Cole Kmet as his top 3 targets, he's going to have a chance to hit the ground running in a way that Bryce Young just couldn't in Carolina last year." They also said, quote, "Williams is a supreme talent with top-tier arm strength, accuracy, and improvisational skills inside and outside the pocket." So you heard it there. You know, whether you like it or not, whether anybody likes it or not, it's going to be the Caleb Williams show here in Chicago, and he's going to get truly a fair shot to make something happen. You know, we can't say in 3 years, oh yeah, the Bears screwed him. You could make the argument for Fields, you can make the argument for quarterbacks in the past. You can't make it here with Caleb Williams. They are doing everything they possibly can to make it right. Because there's incentive in this. There's a lot of incentive in this. This is going to be Ryan Poles' first and potentially only quarterback. Potentially. Matt Eberflus, in my opinion, if things don't go well, is on the hot seat. And Kevin Warren made the decision at the top level to trust Ryan Poles and Eberflus to stick around after last year. There's an incentive building wide, Hallis Hall wide, to win now. With that incentive in place, it allows the Bears to actually give a damn about playing football, which is great, because it seemed like in the past it wasn't really the case. Even last year, you could tell there were times in which it just didn't look good. It didn't look sincere. It certainly didn't look sincere, and you knew the Bears were tanking in Poles and Eberflus's first year. We're finally at a point where winning is going to be prioritized. We're finally at a point where the Bears are actually looking to win football games. Just to give you an idea, too, of Rome Odunze, everybody hears about Marvin Harrison Jr., and rightfully so, and I hope the Bears get him. Don't have any idea if they will, but if they trade up, maybe, they'll get him. I don't think he's going to fall to number 9, but if they trade up, there's that opportunity. But let's say they don't. Let's say it's going to be Rome Odunze. Okay, well, who are the Bears going to be getting? Well, they're going to be getting a stud wide receiver. Odunze last year with Michael Penix Jr. put up 1,640 in terms of yards, 1,640 yards at the collegiate level in 15 games, 17.8 yards per reception, 92 catches overall. The year before, in his sophomore year, 12 games, 75 catches, 1,145 yards. Back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons in college. This past year, he was a monster and almost had 1,700 all-purpose yards. This is awesome. And this would be a huge addition for the Bears as well. Let's not sell somebody short here. Of course, Marvin Harrison Jr. has the hype. He went to Ohio State. His dad is who he was, right? Marvin Harrison Jr. has the hype. But Rome Odunze is not a dumb selection at number 9. And if the Bears get him, I'll be celebrating just as much as I would be if they drafted Marvin Harrison Jr., if they traded up to get Harrison, or if Harrison fell, or whatever the case may be. Either way, I'm going to be celebrating on draft night. We're going to be live, by the way, on Sports Talk Chicago's YouTube page on draft night, first round, to obviously react to Caleb Williams and whoever the Bears pick at 9, or if they move up or trade back. I don't know what they're going to do. But whatever they do, we'll be ready. Because there have been other reports that have suggested that maybe the Bears will trade back. Jordan Reed of ESPN, so it's funny how ESPN people are contradicting themselves. What a surprise. He said that the Bears may trade back from 9. An NFC area scout said, I'd be shocked if they make any picks at 9. Because Poles loves to move around in the draft and build through the draft. So we don't know what's going to happen. Ryan Poles has a number of different options. He could trade up to get Marvin Harrison. He could stay at 9 and hope that Rome Odunze is there. He could draft a offensive lineman or a defensive edge rusher at 9, or he could even trade back and still address one of those key positions and accumulate another pick, because right now the Bears only have 4 picks in this draft, which is interesting. They only have 4. They have the number 1 pick and number 9, then number 75 in the 3rd round, and number 122 in round 4. As we know, Ryan Poles loves to turn a couple of picks into 7 or 8. He's done that the past 2 years. I think he'll do it again here, at least in rounds 3 and 4. That's a given. But the interesting part's going to be, what do they do at 9? That's been the intrigue. That's been the talk for the past couple of weeks. And again, I know our guy Joey said what he said and what he thought. Maybe Marvin Harrison's trying to get down to 9, but will the Bears actually trade up to get Harrison? I don't know about that. Even though Harrison is as talented as he is, as much of a sure thing as he is, there's that stigma still of why you trading up for a wide receiver in the 1st round. I mean, the last time the Bears drafted a receiver this high was Kevin White. So that's something they got to keep in mind too. Still, I think the Bears cannot go wrong here. And that's the main pitch when it comes to this draft and when it comes to you viewing it, right? They really can't go wrong. Something would have to catastrophically go sideways for the Bears to lose in this draft. They're going to be getting Caleb Williams, and they have the 9 pick. They can move up, they can move down. They could stay at 9 and take a wide receiver, offensive lineman, edge rusher. They can move back and take the same. It doesn't really matter. And if Marvin Harrison does not drop into their lap at 9, don't fret. Rome Odunze is a stud. He'd be a number 2 on any other team in the National Football League. There's no question about that. And he'd probably even be a 1 on some teams. Day 1. He's going to be a 3 if the Bears take him at number 9. That's unbelievable. Like I said to open up this segment, gone are the days, I guess, of saying, oh yeah, Chicago Bears, that's where wide receivers go to die. Not anymore. This is where they come to thrive because they have a general manager and a team that actually cares about offense for once. That's actually putting in a realistic effort to rebuild the offense correctly. So many people over the years have tried their best to do it or have claimed that they've tried their best to do it, but for whatever reason, the Bears are still in that 1900s football mentality of defense and defense and defense. Well, you know what? It's time to change that attitude. And Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren, they are. They are. They have to. If they want to win moving forward, they're going to have to, and they are. Caleb Williams is going to be here. They're going to have 3 stud wide receivers come game 1 of the season. Does that sound like the Chicago Bears of yesteryear? Definitely not. They know, they're not stupid, they need to make changes, and they need to be sure that they're offensively ready to go. Defense is important, and they're going to be drafting for defense. They're still going to be looking for defense, and they've made acquisitions on defense. There's no doubt about that, but they understand the importance of 2024 football, and they understand that offense, quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs, DeAndre Swift, right? All of those things are going to make a big difference in their success rate and their winning percentage on the field this year. So we'll see what the Bears end up doing, but they have so many different positive options at 9 and certainly at 1, and you really can't go wrong with either of those 2 picks. So that's a crazy thing to say about the Bears, but that's where they are right now, so let's enjoy it.